What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, I got another review for you today, and it's going to be a good one. It is on the Worktuffgear Commander. And if you guys didn't see my little short that I dropped on this thing, popping it out, showing it off, whew, man, this thing is sexy. I mean, when I opened up the box and pulled this sucker out, I just started smiling. My wife looked over at me, and she was like, "It's a good one, isn't it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, it is. Look at this. Look at this big boy." Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, guys. I am a sucker for big blades, man. I just love them, man. Something about a big blade, especially when they're done right. They're just so fun. They're just, you pick it up and it just takes you back to those days when you were young and you were watching all those sword and sorcery movies and watching Rambo and all those movies and Commando and stuff. And you just say, they're always pulling out those giant blades and they were just like, oh yeah. Were they always practical? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But I can tell you, man, the big blades that are coming out of Worktuffgear are practical. I mean, they're very useful blades. They're super, man, they come out of the box hair popping sharp. They come out of the box ready to work, man. And they're tough as hell. I've beat up on a bunch of Worktuffgear knives now, and I'm always thoroughly impressed with how well they hold up. They take a beating. They're comfortable. They feel great. I mean, Vic Lynn over there does a fantastic job for being such a small shop, man. They're putting out some really, really great blades. And the quality's there. They come out. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten any of them from him that have been like quality issues. You know what I mean? They're always just really, really nicely done. But man, this one right here, this is basically a bigger version of the Asset knife, which was more of a 4-inch kind of everyday carry blade. I mean, I would everyday carry that. So this is like the bigger version of that blade, right? And let's just get into the specs real quick, and then let's just jump into just doing some chopping, man. Let's just do some chopping and just put this sucker to some work, right? So this is the Worktuffgear Commander. You're looking at a full tang blade with an overall 14 inches. Your blade length is going to be 8 inches. Your cutting edge from right here to the tip, you're looking at 7.1. You have a 0.23 inch thick blade. It is a saber grind clip point, which I'm a sucker for clip points if you guys didn't know. This is Bowler K329 steel. It has got a 56 to 59 Rockwell hardness. You can get this on January 15th, 2025. That's when these are dropping. And I don't know what today is, but no, it's January 12th right now. So in a few days, these will be available on their website. If you're watching this video later, go check the website. There might still be some. Go check out DLT Trading or wherever it is you buy your knives that sells Worktuff. Hopefully they'll have some in stock because I feel like these are going to sell out because this thing is fantastic. But you can get this in a satin or a dark wash. It has Jungle Gator Camo G10 handle scales with like an orange liner. And man, I love these scales. One, I love the way they look. And then they have this just kind of like little, real light kind of texturing on there. If you guys can see that, it gives it enough grip, but it's not overly aggressive. It just locks into your hand nicely. Got some nice scallops right up here. Got a nice little finger guard that comes up here. You got an attitude adjusting lanyard hole right here. If you got to crack some coconuts or adjust some attitudes, you're ready to rock and roll. And knife weight on this bad boy is 23 ounces, so it's a hefty guy. It's got a little bit of meat to it. It's just like me. Woo! Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then with the sheath, you're looking at 28 ounces. It does come with a really nicely done pancake-style sheath with a belt loop. Now, this belt loop, you are able to take these screws off, and you can flip it around the other side. So if you're left or right-handed, you can easily switch back and forth. You have your belt loop that you can want either just slide your belt through, or you can. It's got Velcro, but it also has a snap as well, as you can see. So you kind of have double security there, not just the Velcro, but it also snaps shut as well. So if you didn't need to take your belt off, you could, if you didn't want to take your belt off, you could open this up, slide it through, come back around, Velcro, and snap it back into place, and you'll be good to go. It does have a really nice, generous drain hole right there, as you can see. So if you do get water and stuff down there, maybe get some dirt in there, you can flush it out. The water's all going to come out. You have plenty of holes here, so if you don't like this style of carry, you could easily put whatever you want on there. You could tech lock it, MOLLE clips, whatever, however it is you decide. You could paracord wrap this to your thigh. I don't know, but however you want to carry it, you could do it. But I mean, that's totally up to you. You do have a very nice, generous finger choil area here. I like how it's a little bit different of a finger choil too. It's not just the big old round finger choil. It's kind of like a straight half moon kind of, but look at, I can put my big old fat mongoloid finger in there just like that. And then with this scallop and the way this ledge is right here, my thumb just rests nicely in it right there. And then I come over, lock it down, and I can come in there and do whatever fine cutting work I have to do, choking up on it, you know, like I said, making those fire curl sticks, things like that. And then with this swoop down here, I can easily come back in here, get my middle finger right here or my ring finger, choke back on it to get a little bit more of that whip chopping. My pinky will actually come and rest nicely right here. So as I come back, you can see my pinky finger rest right there over that spot. And then, bam, you come in here, get your, like, reach out a little bit farther, get your whip chopping going. The jimping here on the back is nicely rounded. It's not overly aggressive, so it's not going to tear up your thumb or your finger as you're, you know, if you're getting up here and you're doing some hard press cutting and stuff like that. And then from here to here, you have your 90-degree spine for striking your fire rod, right? So that's one thing Worktuff always seems to put on their knives, is that nice 90-degree spine area for you, you know, because a lot of people like to strike those fire rods with them. And so, and before I forget, this is designed by Shan Hamilton. I think it's Shan. That's the way it's written, S-H-A-N on the website. So Sean Hamilton designed this, as well as I believe the Asset, which this is based the bigger version of. So I'm sure he designed the Asset as well. But Sean, I love this design, brother. This thing is nice. I really like it. And you know what? I think without further ado, we should just go and start doing some cutting, chopping, and let's see this bad boy in action. Stay tuned. All right, everybody. Hey, so I know this is a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. You're used to seeing me over there at the testing area. Well, you know what? I think this is might become my new testing area for parts of this. I'm taking a play out of a Peterbilt Knife Guy's playbook where he locks his 2x4s and things like that into a vise, you know, so it stays solid for chopping and things like that. And I think that's a good idea. It's a safe idea. So Peterbilt Knife Guy, thank you for the inspiration. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you don't mind me utilizing your idea. So guys, this is a 2x4. This is the Commander. Let's just get at it, baby. Go a little left-handed action. Booyah! Look at that. Bam. That 2x4 did not stand a chance, baby. Look at this. Nice. Beautiful edge. Still ready to rock and roll. I love it, man. This thing is so much fun. And you know what? Being able to come down here and choke back to get those really hammer into it. Nicely done. I really like it. Now, one thing I am going to do real quick before we move on, I am going to do another chop with this. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do try to do a really nice slow, not slow, but just a really nice kind of controlled hit. I'm going to try to see if I can't either one, break this thing off, or two, cut halfway through it with some just well-placed, slow kind of chops. Let's see how we do. Ready? So, there's one. Nicely done. There's two. Well, I'm splitting the 2x4. Well, my aim isn't as nice as I thought it would be, but yeah. Well, just broke half that sucker off. There you go. Getting some more kick-ass chopping in, right? Oh yeah, everything's still looking good. Sweet. Let's get over to the testing area, do some rope and stuff. All right, everybody. Hey, what'd you think of that little slow motion water bottle cut action? Kind of got a little bit of inspiration from an Instagram reel that somebody sent me with Travis Woltz, knife designer and maker. He did that, something similar to that, but with a folding knife. Very impressive, by the way. But I figured I would just kind of do a quick little fun one with the Commander here, just to check it out and try it out. But guys, let's get into this testing, right? You guys heard me ramble on enough. This is a catalog. If you guys didn't see, I did a little short reel where I did a quick little chop, man, made it rain, made it snow, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to do that again. We're going to pop this sucker off. See what we get. Bam, look at that. Oh, look at that. That's like some straight up Easter egg confetti stuff right there, man. Bam, making it snow again. Golly, that's good. Come in here, stab this big boy. Almost punched all the way through. You can see right here, it kind of bulged it out. Didn't quite. That's where the tip kind of almost went through. I can feel the tip right here a little bit. So what, just a couple little sheets. That's not bad, guys, for this big wide clip point. I mean, that's actually a pretty good, I mean, pretty good to be able to go almost all the way through this. Almost punch through this catalog, because that's, I mean, this isn't necessarily designed to be a super piercing tip, like as far as like, you know, I mean, it's wide, so it's going to be a lot more surface area that has to go through. So look at that though, went through nicely. And guys, I mean, this is a tip that I don't think you're going to have to worry about breaking. I mean, the way this thing comes down and then it diamonds out a little bit, I mean, this is going to be a very robust tip for when you're coming in and doing maybe those woodworking things where you're doing bow drill divot holes and stuff like that. And we're going to do that. So, guys, stabbing, pretty good. I mean, gets in there. I mean, that's a thick, solid log. This is stabbing right in there. Get a little bit of this wood junk off. Tip is still there. It's still ready to rock and roll. It's still going to do what you need it to do. And what was I going to do right now? Oh, this is solid. Had a brain fart there, guys. Oh, got these jean material here. You know what? We're not even going to just cut through a normal layer of this. We're just going to bunch this up. Look at this. Multiple layers. I mean, you got the back pockets. There might even be the zipper in here somewhere. Belt loops, all that stuff. So this is pretty thick, right? So I'm in the wood. Look. Look at all the way through, went through the pocket, came out here somewhere. So definitely got the back pocket right here, you guys can see. Oh, it's just, I mean, it's just eating through this jean material, guys. So I mean, if you had to cut some clothes or pants off, you absolutely can do it. Get into the rope here, guys. So this is the yellow poly rope. This stuff is a pain in the butt to cut. Nobody likes it. I mean, well, I mean, people like it because it's a very useful rope. I mean, it's good. It's just cutting it sometimes sucks. But look at that, right through. I've already chopped on. Okay, that cut through pretty damn easy. Take into account that I did a short reel with this, right, where I'd already cut the phone book. I had cut through. I pounded on a 4x4, right? So there's already been edge stuff done to this. I went through that 2x4 a couple of times there, and then I'm able to just come in here and same area right here, cut right through. I mean, that edge is holding up fantastic. Come in, chop, bust this all up into little pieces. Absolutely can do it all day, every day, twice on Sunday. And got our wood. Oh no, I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Almost forgot. We got this poly rope. Now this stuff is even thicker. This is like 3-inch thick, right? So let's say you had to come in here and do a precise kind of cut a piece of this off. Right there, not a problem. So you had to come in and do a quick chop. Oh my gosh, that literally exploded into a bazillion pieces. So do a precise cut right through that rope easily. Chopped it easily, right? So let's see if we can take it up another notch here. Guys, this is like 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch thick sissy rope. Look how thick and nasty that is, man. This stuff is a pain in the ass to cut. So let's just let's do a precise cut. Cut it off pretty clean. I might have tore that little last piece off, and then look, now you got all this. So this stuff, again, make a fire with it, definitely. Let's set that to say, hey, we're gonna make a fire today, right? So we're gonna set this to the side, save that, a little fire tinder, right? So cut through this thicker sissy rope. Man, let's say you gotta cut it, you're in a hurry, the batten down the hatches and the tidal wave's coming. There it is. I mean, it just shot everywhere, but look at that. Nice clean cut. So, man, you could easily cut some rope, any type of rope. I mean, I'm not even going to do the paracord because what's the point? I mean, obviously, if I can cut that poly rope that easy, that paracord ain't going to be nothing. Here's a fire hose, guys. This stuff is, this is a legit fire hose. Came off a fire truck. This is an old hose that they were going to throw away, so it's been used and abused. It's got a lot of dirt and grime built into the fabric just from being drugged through all the stuff that it's went through. I'd be kind of curious if this hose could tell a story. What would it be, you know? But this stuff is difficult to cut. It's 2 layers of canvas with a layer of glued rubber inside the middle. So it's not always the easiest thing to cut. There we go. It gets a little floppy. It gets a little weird to cut, but look at that. Cutting right into it. Bam. Nice clean cut. Cut that, no problem. Let's say you had to pierce through it. Like again, you see how thick this is. Got those layers. Pierced right through. Not a problem. Trying to pull this up and not cut myself. I don't have a lot to grab onto here because I cut that piece off short. There we go. Get that down past that choil. Bam. So you got to cut it in half with a chop. There it went. Cut it in half with a chop. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, fire hose, rope, you know, different things like that. Oh, 3,000 PSI rated air compressor hose, right? Had to come in here, chop that for whatever reason. Bam, there it went flying off. Bam, there it went flying off. You can come in and chop that hose, or if you had to come in and cut it, you can do a nice press cut down through here. A little bit more precise cutting. You can do it. Now, let's get into our woodworking stuff, right? Got a, what is this? 3/4 inch by 1 inch or long, 1 foot round hardwood wood dowel, right? I was already kind of in a previous video making a tent stake fire, you know, vampire killer, but we don't want that piece. Well, almost cut right through it. There we go. Bam. So kind of a little bit on the flatter side. Now let's say, again, we're going to utilize this choil. We're going to come in here, get in here, hog off some pieces, right? You guys can see that, hopefully. See those pieces flying off. Yeah, baby. So you can easily come in here, shave off the wood that you need to get down to your stake, or you can come in here, do some, to me this is the faster way. I don't understand why you just wouldn't do this in the first place, but kind of come in here, do some light chopping, get it down, you know, a little bit closer to where you need it, and then come in here and hog off the pieces that you need, you know what I mean? Because then you can be a little bit more precise, but it's a little bit faster. Come in here, keep turning it, get it down to as sharp or as needle point as you like. Save those wood pieces, or you can even do it like this way. You could stick it in your stump, kind of come in like this. And the nice thing about doing it this way is, one, you're making fire curls, but they're also not flying off everywhere, and you can collect those to make your fire later, right? But you can come in and do it that way, kind of keep going, make your vampire steak, you know, you're ready to go. Or you might need to make your tent steak, so you kind of got it where you want it, and you need to now make your notch, right? So let's make our notch. We're just going to kind of, I don't want to hold it this way. I'm trying to save as much of the stick as I can, so we're going to make the notch right here. So we're going to come in, utilizing the Springer choil right here, get up nice and close. Yeah, dig it in there. So this is how I like to make my tent steaks. Now what's funny is I can make a tent steak, but I've never actually had to use a tent steak out in the wild. I got a camper, so I'm a glamper, but that's okay. But at least I know if I had to make a tent steak and utilize it, I could tie my paracord around it and stuff like that. So I usually come in here, I shave it down to about there, and then I'll come in over the top where it kind of ends, and then I kind of just do like a rocking press cut, if you will. That way it kind of takes out the spot right there, and then I can kind of come in and just clean up that last little bit. Make it as deep of a tent steak as I need. And then, you know, there you go. You can tie your rope around here. Now it's locked on, ready to go. But works pretty good. Not bad. For a bigger knife, it, you know, kind of gets in there. You can kind of get in there and work it nicely. With my big old meat paws, like when I'm up here in the choil, I'm actually resting my finger on top of the 90-degree spine. So I can feel the edges of the 90-degree spine a little bit. But that's more based off of my hand preference, and maybe not necessarily yours. I can put my thumb on the back right here and come in as well. And it's a lot nicer because now I'm not touching the 90-degree edges. So it's kind of one of those things where you just got to kind of play around with your grip a little bit to find what's best comfortable for you. But the nice thing is there is options. There's grip options, right? So had to come in, make a vampire steak, right? You absolutely could. Cut that rope. Yep, we can do that. Let's see, what do we got here? Ooh, here's another wood dowel. This bad boy's a little bigger though. We're looking at what is this? 1x48. So this is a 1-inch thick wood dowel, hardwood dowel, where the other one was what, 3/4 of an inch thick or something like that. Can't even remember. Yeah, 3/4. So it's a little bit thicker of a wood dowel. So let's come in here and give it a nice little chop and see what we can do here. I don't even know where that piece went. Look at it, slammed off that little piece and it went. I don't know where the heck that went. That sucker's way over. I think it might have went over the neighbor's fence. Bam. Bam, look at that. Couple of whack-a-doodles right through it. Nice. So that's pretty good. I'm digging that. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Only problem with this thing is it's so long. So we're gonna put this right here. We're gonna do a little baton through, 1-inch thick piece of hardwood, wood dowel. You know, sometimes when I do these things, I'm like, why did I even do that? We all knew it was gonna do that. But you know, hey, we like to show it, right? That's the whole thing. That's the reason why we test these blades out. I want to show you guys that if you buy this knife or whatever, kind of what it's capable of, what it's going to do, how it's going to handle some things. Absolutely chopping stuff like that. you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. So let's say you got to do some baton, and here's that piece of that 2x4. So we're going to put this right here. Now, granted, a lot of people, there's a big argument kind of on whether you should baton with a knife or not. It's one of those things where I think it depends on the situation and it depends on the knife. But I do it. I baton with knives that you probably shouldn't baton with, just to show you guys that if you were in a bad situation, you could do it. Okay. This knife, I would not have any qualms batoning with this knife. The way the finger choil is designed, I don't think that's really a weak spot to the blade. Some people say like where the sharpening choil or the finger choil is because of it. But the way this is cut and designed, I don't think it's a weak spot. I would absolutely have no problems with the thickness of this blade batoning with this thing all day long. You know what I mean? It's gonna go through. And then with this nice swedge up here, with it not having the 90-degree edges, it's gonna not really tear up your batoning stick too bad or anything like that. You'll be able to baton, you know, not really tear up your batoning stick. Sometimes that happens. You get a really sharp swedge up there or a really thin swedge. It can eat up your baton, kind of like this. But with this one, I don't think you're gonna run into that problem. Granted, that was just a 2x4, but we'll find something bigger here to baton through. But let's make some fire curls. Oh yeah. Getting up here in this lower area, a little bit more control. I'm only using maybe this much of the blade right here. If you guys can see that, maybe what, an inch and a half of the blade. And I'm making these nice little curls. Being a little precise with it, if you will. If I wanted to, I could come in here with this big one. Now, I'm not very good at this, guys, so please bear with me. But let's get up here with utilizing the whole edge. I mean, I'm shaving stuff off here. Oh, see, that's the problem I have, is I always wind up cutting the things off. But, you know, as long as I'm careful with it, and I'm in a work area where my shavings come off, they don't go flying way far away, I can always collect them up easily. But this is another fun way that I like to do this, is just kind of lock this puppy down right here. Look at those curls. Be able to utilize these nicely to make a fire. Oh man, oh, that was probably one of the better ones that I've ever done right there. Look at that. Yeah, I like it. Now, if you're wondering, why are you making so many? Well, I told you, we're going to start a fire. We're going to utilize the 90-degree spine on this. I'm going to have to pause the video for a second, though, to go get my fire rod, but look at that. So, man, you'll be able to start a fire with that. Heck yeah. So we're going to set this down to the side with our little sissy rope. We're going to take all these little, look at this. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah, so if you had to come in and, let me put that right there. If you had to come in, make some fire curls and things like that, you can absolutely do it, no problem. But let's baton something a little bit bigger. I'm going to need to, eventually I'm going to need to go find me some more almond wood. But, oh, that's a nasty piece of wood right here. Got a bunch of little Gary's, SpongeBob's Gary's are all over this thing, you know. Just flick those guys off. I don't need to go eat some plants over there, guys. This thing is dirty. Get my pants all dirty. So this thing came off of it's like this weird old Sierra citrus tree thing that we had. This thing is dried out. It's pretty thick. I mean, this thing's pretty hard. It's been sitting out here for a while. It's kind of got some mud on it just from being down on the ground. But let's come in here. We're gonna stand this bad boy up right here, and Let's get this bad boy going. Look at that go. Bam. Yeah, nicely done all the way through. Not a problem. Split this sucker good. So, and you know, again, we can come in here, got that piece off, come in this way, split it again. Let's come up here. I know I'm starting off at the top. You kind of can't see me right here, but you got that tree branch right there. Little branch sticking out so I can't hit the blade. Yeah, nice split. What I have is, see this branch right here is blocking the blade from getting hit by the batoning stick. So let's see if we can't get that blade out there a little bit like that. And then, woo! There we go. So coming in here, do some hard batoning. God dang, man, that is still nice and sharp, man. Look at this. See that blade edge? Taking a beating. Guys, let me go get my fire rod. We're gonna make that little fire. We're gonna test out this pommel too, so stand by real quick while I go get this other testing material. All right, everybody. Hey, we're back. I got my little Uber Lieben fire starter, right? So this thing's pretty cool. I would suggest picking one of these things up. This thing works really, really well. It has its own little kind of attached striker, but we don't care about that. What we want to see is we want to see this 90-degree spine here on this Worktuffgear is going to do what it needs to do, right? So, I mean, there's obviously tons of ways you can do this. I like sticking my knife in it into the stump or whatever, and then just kind of letting it rock and roll. There it goes, and burn my pants. But so we know it'll strike the fire rod, right? So, but let's get this Sisu rope here. You guys have been following my channel for a while now. You've seen me start fires with this stuff a couple of times now. I've done a couple of shorts doing it, but you know, why waste resources if you have them? You know, like if you, this is the type of rope you use or whatever, and you cut pieces off or whatever, just stick it in a Ziploc bag, save it, throw it in your trailer, your bug out bag, throw a little bit in there, because this stuff is super dry. It lights up really easy. Just kind of fluff it out a little bit like so. Get you a nice little bird's nest bundle, if you will. Kind of set that down. Now you can come in here, get those little pieces that you were shaving off, right? Get all your little pieces like this, kind of set it in here. Even break these off, put it down. Got all this stuff ready, right? So kind of you get the idea. So now you got your fire bundle stick right there, ready to go. I like to hold my knife over like this and pull the rod. I'm not necessarily a big fan of doing it like this, because I feel like if you go too hard, you hit your bundle. You know, there's lots of different ways to do it. Do what's comfortable for you. But I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hold over the top like this, and then I'm just going to pull it. Look at it right there. Fire's already going. Oh, cook up your top ramen soup. You're ready to go. Let's set that down the side. Don't need a full-blown fire going, but you get the idea. So let's tamp that out. Got a little bit of gunk on there, a little mud. Make sure that's nice and out, because we're not done testing here, guys. So there you go. So if you had to make a fire, oh, it's still burning a little bit. Still see it kind of burning. Blow on it, probably get that going again. So we're gonna put that down there in the dirt. Gonna stomp on it, rub it out, make sure it's out. Don't need to catch my whole backyard on fire. But 90-degree spine works. One of the other things we're gonna do, if you guys didn't see my short, this little attitude adjuster right here. Like I said, sometimes you might just need to adjust some attitude. You know, you don't need to, you know, go whatcha, you know, full ham bone. You might just say, hey bro, back off. I don't need no beef with you, zombie. back off, you know, and then you just, hey, stay awake. Problem solved. Guy's on the ground, knocked out. Zombies on the ground, knocked out. Look at that. Banging out chunks of this brick. So this could be utilized, again, adjusting attitudes, you know, chipping away at maybe a door brick around a frame or something. If, you know, bad survival, I don't know. We're making stuff up now at this point. But if you had to adjust some attitudes, or maybe even come in, bam, smash some glass, right? You might have to smash a window out of a car that's wrecked. You come upon a wreck or something like that. So that's always good to have. It's good to have a little something like that, because that way you're not hitting the glass with the edge of your blade or anything like that. You can even keep the sheath on and probably come in and smash that window out and not worry about it. But, you know, again, I mean, we're talking about adjusting some, oh, you know what, before we get to that, I'm going to save that for last, because it's going to make a little bit of a mess. I was talking about making bow drill fire divots, right? Got that tip. I told you that tip is going to hold up. So let's put this down right here. Gonna kind of come in and stab. Easily come in here. Just keep spinning this blade. Adjusting your angle as you go. Make the hole bigger or smaller. But easily just come in here. Drill into your piece of wood, your hardwood, whatever it is that you're doing. You may not even be necessarily making a bow drill divot. You know, you could be actually making, you know, a hole to put like another stick through to make like a coat rack. I don't know, maybe you got your bushcraft survival shelter and you're making yourself a makeshift coat rack. I don't know, you could be even drilling through this to put sticks through to be able to hang your meat up in a makeshift smokehouse. Like, you know, you got yourself some big game out there in your survival situation, you know. So I mean, there's many different ways you could do it, but I mean, that's just an example, I guess. But you could easily come in, keep on turning, you know, make your little bow drill hole, or drill all the way through, if you will. And this tip is perfectly fine. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's not bent, it's not damaged. I mean, if you bent the tip on this thing and you were doing something you really probably shouldn't have been doing with a knife. So with that, let's get to the last thing as far as adjusting attitudes with the pommel. This here, fellers and guys and gals, children of all ages, coconut. So again, you might have to adjust that attitude. So let's see if this attitude adjuster will crack open this coconut. Again, hey, castaway, right? You're out there trapped on the island. You got to get to that water that's inside. Let's see it. Oh, shit. Slightly sweet. Guys, damn, I should have did that in slow motion. That exploded. Nicely done. There you go. Let's get a drink of coconut juice, guys. I don't know, not that sweet. A little bit sweet, but there you go, guys. If you had to make somebody get across to somebody in a special way, you could definitely do it. Guys, I made a freaking mess, dude. I'm gonna have to go wash, change. Guys, the Worktuff sorry, the Worktuffgear Commander, between Batoning, smashing coconuts, breaking some bricks, 2x4s, fire hose, man. This is definitely going to be a good do-it-all blade, right? I mean, this is a good all-around blade. Very comfortable, super tough. I mean, there's no damage to this thing at all. The edge is still pretty damn sharp after doing all that. This thing is pretty awesome, man. Vic Lynn over at Worktuffgear did a phenomenal job making this. Sean, fantastic design. Guys, January 15th, 2025, these are dropping. I suggest you pick one up, man. Frick, I love this thing. It's so awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I gotta go take a shower now. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you on the next one.